The first regular session of Imine Trentai Cinco ng Congression Manhoben Guahan, the 35th Guam Youth Congress, is hereby called to order. I now recognize at this time Representative Fortuno of Dedido for the adoption of today's legislative session agenda.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that we adopt today's legislative session agenda dated September 20th, 2025.
There has been a motion by Representative Fortuno of Dedido to adopt today's legislative session agenda dated for September 20th, 2025. Are there any objections to this motion? Hearing or seeing none, this motion is carried. Thank you, Representative Fortuno. I now call upon Representative Atoigui to lead us through the prayer, followed by the singing of our national anthem by Representative Balbastro, and Guam Hem, again by Representative Atoigui. And lastly, Representative Cruz to lead the Inifresi. Everyone, please rise.
Representatives, please bow your heads. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen. Heavenly Father, as we begin this session, we ask for your presence among us. Grant us the wisdom to make thoughtful decisions, courage to speak with honesty, and humility to listen with open hearts. Help us to lead with integrity, to serve with compassion, and to remember that every voice matters. May this session hall be a place of respect, where ideas are shared freely, and where our actions reflect the values we hold true. Guide us through every discussion, every vote, and every moment of silence so that we build here today will uplift those we represent tomorrow. In your heavenly name we pray, amen. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's glass gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, we so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Nogi chamoru purita nota kanta matuno nagi toro ilugar padari honra padari gloria abiba es la sen para di honra, para di gloria, aviva es la sed para utodu y tempo y paz para hita zangin langin na bendition. Contra peligro Nafat sofuhem Zeus protege slangwan Contra piligru Nafat sofuhem Zeus protege slangwan.
Ini festi, girini mas takilu gi hina soku, imas takilum gi coraçonhu, zani mas vigu naninyasin yahu, hu ufresin maisazu, parabaihu protehi, zanhu defendi, ihi nengi, ikotura, ilenguahi, I airi, I hanum zanitano chamoru. Ni shaku diretsu ginazuas hata, esti hua fitma gi hilo e biblia, zani bandirahu, I benderan guahan.
Thank you, colleagues. You may be seated. I now call upon our recording secretary, Ms. Julie Ann Laksamana, to conduct the first roll call.
Representative Otoigui of Tumuning Tumon Harmon. Representative Otoigui, present. Representative Balbastro of Haggett. Representative Balbastro, present. Representative Kalimlim of Okudu High School. Representative Kalimlim, present. Representative Cha of Mongmong Toto Maiti. Representative Cha, absent. Representative Sharfris of Mangilao. Representative Sharfris, present. Representative Cruz of Simon Sanchez High School. Representative Cruz, present. Representative Dela Cruz of University of Guam. Representative Dela Cruz, present. Representative Fernandez of Notre Dame High School. Representative Fernandez, present. Representative Fortuno of Dededo. Representative Fortuno, present. Representative Guerrero of Dededo. Representative Guerrero, present. Representative Imbat of Okudu High School. Representative Imbat, present. Representative Kim of Harvest Christian Academy. Representative Kim, absent. Representative Cody Yamplakal of Tumuning Tumon Harmon. Representative Cody Yamplakal, absent. Representative Leon Guerrero of Academy of Our Lady of Guam. Representative LG, present. Representative Liu of Dededo. Representative Liu, absent. Representative Masca of Tizan High School. Representative Masca, present. Representative Ng of Jotnya. Representative Ng, absent, sorry. Representative O of Malesu. Representative O, present. Representative Pangilinan of Mangilao. Representative Pangilinan, present. Acting Speaker Paz of Jigo. Acting Speaker Paz, present. Representative Pobleti of Chalanpago Ordot. Representative Pobleti, present. Representative Santos of Tumuning Tumon Harmon. Representative Santos, absent. Representative Santos of the University of Guam. Representative Santos, present. Representative Teodosio of University of Guam. Representative Teodosio, present. Representative Velasco of the Guam Community College. Representative Velasco, present. Representative Yang of Mangilao. Representative Yang, present. Mr. Speaker, you have a quorum.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Representative Santos of the University of Guam, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to excuse all of the absent representatives.
There has been a motion made by Representative Santos of the University of Guam to excuse all members not present and voting for this session. Are there any objections to this motion? Okay. Seeing or hearing none, this motion is carried. Okay. Representative Kalimlim of Ukuru, you are recognized at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Notwithstanding the House rules and adopted session agenda, I move that we suspend further proceedings and proceed directly to item number 13 for consideration of motions.
Thank you, Representative. So there has been a motion, notwithstanding House rules, made by Representative Kalimlim of Ukuru High School to suspend further proceedings and proceed directly to agenda item number 13 for consideration of motions. Are there any objections to this motion? No? Okay. Seeing or hearing none, this motion is carried. We are now in agenda item number 13 for the consideration of motions. Okay. Representative Guerrero of Dedido, you are recognized.
Sizus Masti, Mr. Speaker. There is a permanent vacancy in the position of Speaker due to the resignation of former Speaker Wuju Rachel Cho and Acting Speaker Kayan To. At this time, I move that we open the floor for nominations for the position of Speaker of the 35th Guam Youth Congress.
There's been a motion made by Representative Guerrero of Dedido to open the floor for nominations due to the permanent vacancy in the position of Speaker for the 35th Guam Youth Congress. Are there any objections to this motion? Hearing or seeing none, this motion is carried. The floor is now open for nominations for the position of Speaker. Representative Guerrero of Dedido, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to nominate the representative from Dedido, Mr. Austin Geismer Fortuno, for the position of Speaker for the 35th Guam Youth Congress.
Thank you, Representative Guerrero. Representative Fortuno of Dedido, do you accept the nomination?
I do accept the nomination, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Representative Fortuno. So let the record show that Representative Fortuno has been nominated by Representative Guerrero. Are there any other nominations for the position of Speaker? Okay. Hearing and seeing no other nominations, Representative Atoigui, you are recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we close the nomination for the position of Speaker.
Okay. There has been a motion made by Representative Atoigui of Tamuning Tuman Harmon to close nomination for position of Speaker. Are there any objections to this motion? Okay. Seeing and hearing no objections, this motion is carried. We will now proceed with the election for the position of Speaker. There is one nominee, that being Representative Fortuno of Dedido. All those in favor of electing Representative Fortuno of Dedido for the position of Speaker, please signify your vote by raising your hand. Okay. Thank you, everyone. With a unanimous vote, Representative Fortuno of Dedido has been duly elected Speaker of the 35th Guam Youth Congress. Speaker Fortuno, please approach the dais to assume the chair, and we will be back with a short recess.
35th Guam Youth Congress is called back to order. Thank you, colleagues. If you might indulge me for a moment, I know it's kind of out of order to be speaking from the chair, but I want to take this opportunity to sincerely thank each of you for entrusting me to serve as your speaker. It is an honor and a responsibility that I take seriously, and I intend to wield the gavel with purpose, ensuring that this body truly serves as the official voice of the youth of Guam. The capacity afforded to me by your trust is something that I am deeply grateful for, and I promise not to waste it, even though we have a few more months of our term left. I also want to acknowledge that this is my final term in the Guam Youth Congress. Having served since the 34th, the persistence to serve our youth and our island remains as strong as ever. While I am nearing the end of my service in the Youth Congress, my commitment to representing the youth of Guam and making an impact has not wavered. I intend to use every opportunity afforded to me to ensure that our voices are heard, our ideas are considered, and our needs are represented. We must also be honest about the reality of our Congress. Since our inauguration, the Guam Youth Congress has not been as active as it should have been. Unguided leadership left us without direction, slowing our progress when our community most needed us to act. That period of inactivity cannot define us. Today, we have an opportunity to change all of that. We are nearly halfway through our term, yes, but the time that we have left is still significant, and we must act decisively. Youth representation is needed now more than ever. We face challenges that affect every young person and family on this island. Youth unemployment continues to limit opportunities for growth and stability. Many of our schools, with representatives who are in this very room today, including Ukuru High School, F.B. Leon Guerrero Middle School, John F. Kennedy High School, and Simon Sanchez High School, still operate under double sessions, placing a strain on students, teachers, and families alike. Our public facilities, our parks, gyms, and government offices are showing visible signs of deterioration, impacting our quality of life. Our tourism industry, was once a major pillar of our economy, is still recovering. And beyond these, we are seeing our young talent leave Guam for opportunities off-island, while the rising cost of living pushes families and young professionals to make difficult choices. These issues are real, they are immediate, and they require action, not delay. As the 35th Guam Youth Congress, our goal is to bring fresh ideas and the youth perspective to every corner of the government of Guam. We are committed to actively collaborating with our counterparts in the 38th Guam Legislature to ensure that the voices of us, we, the youth of Guam, are not only heard, but are reflected in the policies and programs that impact our island. I also want to recognize and appreciate our Oversight Chair, Senator Shelley Calvo, whose guidance will be critical as we navigate these partnerships, strengthen our initiatives, and ensure meaningful oversight and accountability. We are one island. The youth are its future. But we cannot and should not wait for change to happen around us. We can be the change. We must be the change. Every idea we propose, every project or program we support, and every voice we raise contributes to shaping a stronger and more reliable and resilient island for all of us. As Speaker, I commit to leading this body with determination, with vision, and with purpose. I will ensure that the Guam Youth Congress fulfills its role as a platform for advocacy, for solutions, and for impact. I'll work tirelessly to make sure that the youth perspective is present in every discussion that affects our island, from education and employment to public services and economic development. On behalf of the youth of Guam, I thank you again for your trust. I am ready to lead, ready to serve, and ready to ensure that this body becomes a visible, active, and impactful voice for our generation. Together, we can meet the challenges before us, and together, we can become the change that Guam needs. Sujusmasi. All right. right, thank you, colleagues, for allowing me the moment to address you all and to our listeners, the youth of Guam. We are still on agenda item number 13 for the consideration of motions. Floor Leader Paz, you are recognized at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. At this time, there is a vacancy, a permanent vacancy in the position for the Vice Speaker of the 35th Guam Youth Congress. At this time, I make a motion to open up nominations for the position of Vice Speaker.
Thank you, Floor Leader Paz. There has been a motion to open nominations for the position of Vice Speaker of the 35th Guam Youth Congress. Are there any objections? Hearing or seeing none, the motion is carried. The floor is now open for nominations. Representative Charfers of Manilao, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to nominate the representative from Tamuning, Tumon, and Harmon, Mr. Trevin Atoigui, for the position of Vice Speaker of this 35th Guam Youth Congress. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Charfers of Manilao. Representative Atoigui of Tamuning, Tumon, Harmon, do you accept the nomination?
Mr. Speaker, I accept the nomination.
Thank you, Representative Atoigui. Let the record show that Representative Atoigui of Tamuning, Tumon, Harmon has been nominated by Representative Charfers of Manilao for the position of Vice Speaker. Are there any other nominations for the position of Vice Speaker? Hearing or seeing none, Floor Leader Paz, you are recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we close nominations for Vice Speaker.
There has been a motion by Floor Leader Paz to close the floor for nominations for the position of Vice Speaker. Are there any objections? Hearing or seeing none, the motion is carried. We will now proceed with the election of the position of Vice Speaker. There is one nominee, that being Representative Atoigui of Tamuning, Tumon, Harmon. All those in favor of electing Representative Atoigui for the position of Vice Speaker, please signify your vote by raising your hand. With a unanimous vote, Representative Atoigui of Tamuning, Tumon, Harmon has been duly elected Vice Speaker of the 35th Guam Youth Congress. Congratulations, Vice Speaker Atoigui. Colleagues, we are still in agenda item number 13 for the consideration of motions. Floor Leader Paz, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. There is a permanent vacancy in the position of Legislative Secretary. At this time, I make a motion to open nominations for the position of Legislative Secretary for the 35th Guam Youth Congress.
Thank you, Floor Leader Paz. There has been a motion to open nominations for the position of Legislative Secretary of the 35th Guam Youth Congress. Are there any objections? Hearing or seeing none, the motion is carried. The floor is now open for nominations. Representative Teodosio of the University of Guam, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to nominate the representative from Manila, Mr. Dano Pangilinan, for the position of Legislative Secretary of the 35th Guam Youth Congress.
Thank you, Representative Teodosio. Representative Pangilinan of Manila, do you accept the nomination?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Yes, I do accept the nomination.
Thank you, Representative Pangilinan. Let the record show that the Representative Pangilinan of Manilao has been nominated by Representative Teodosio. Are there any other nominations for the position of Legislative Secretary? Hearing or seeing none, Floor Leader Paz, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. At this time, I move that we close nominations for the position of Legislative Secretary.
Thank you, Floor Leader Paz. There has been a motion by the Floor Leader to close the floor for nominations for the position of Legislative Secretary. Are there any objections? Hearing or seeing none, the motion is carried. Colleagues, we will now proceed with the election of the position of Legislative Secretary. There is one nominee, that being Representative Pangilinan of Manilao. All those in favor of electing Representative Pangilinan for the position of Legislative Secretary, please signify your vote by raising your hand. With a unanimous vote, Representative Pangilinan of Manila has been duly elected Legislative Secretary of the 35th Guam Youth Congress. Congratulations, Legislator Pangilinan. Colleagues, we are still in agenda item number 13 for the consideration of motions. Floor Leader Paz, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I move that we return to the regular course of the adopted session agenda with agenda item number 7, the call for the approval of the journal, and move to approve the legislative journal of the Youth Congress dated November 23rd, 2024.
Thank you, Floor Leader Paz. On that motion, are there any objections? Hearing or seeing none, the motion is carried. Legislative Journal of the Youth Congress dated November 23rd, 2024 is hereby approved. We are now on agenda item number 8, communications and petitions. Floor Leader Paz, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. At this time, there are no communications and petitions submitted to the 35th Guam Youth Congress, and I move to waive this agenda item.
Thank you. On the motion to waive agenda item number 8, communications and petitions, are there any objections? Hearing or seeing none, the motion is carried. We are now on agenda item number 9, messages from Imagahagan Guahan, the Governor of Guam. Floor Leader Paz, you are recognized.
Mr. Speaker, at this time, there are no messages from Imagahagan Guahan, the Governor of Guam, and I move to waive this agenda item.
Thank you, Floor Leader. On the motion to waive agenda item number 9, messages from Imagahagan Guahan, the Governor of Guam, are there any objections? Hearing or seeing none, the motion is carried. We are now on agenda item number 10, reports of standing committees. Floor Leader Paz, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that we waive agenda items number 10 and 11, the reports of standing committees and reports of select committees.
On that motion, colleagues, are there any objections? Hearing or seeing none, the motion is carried. Agenda items number 10 and 11, the reports of standing committees and the reports of select committees are waived at this time. We are now on agenda item number 12, the introduction and first reading of bills and resolutions. Floor Leader Paz, you are recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I move that bills number 1-35 COR to 3-35 COR and resolutions number 1-35 COR through 3-35 COR be deemed to have their first reading.
On that motion, are there any objections? Hearing or seeing none, the motion is carried. The aforementioned bills and resolutions shall be deemed to have been introduced and first read by this body. With no other business under agenda item number 12, we are now on agenda item number 13 for the consideration of motions. Do any representatives wish to make a motion? Hearing or seeing none, we will now move on to agenda item number 14, the consent calendar. Floor Leader Paz, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. At this time, there are no pending business under agenda item number 14, the consent calendar, and I move to waive this agenda item.
Thank you, Floor Leader. On that motion, are there any objections? Hearing or seeing none, motion is carried. Agenda item number 14, the consent calendar is hereby waived. We are now on agenda item number 15, the second reading file. Floor Leader Paz, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to place into the third reading file resolution number 1-35 COR introduced by the Committee on Rules relative to repealing in its entirety the standing rules of Imina 35 ng Kongresyon Manhoban Guahan as adopted on November 23rd, 2024, and to adopt and promulgate the amended standing rules of Imina 35 ng Kongresyon Manhoban Guahan attached hereto as Exhibit A as the official standing rules governing the body, and to be given the opportunity to speak on the motion.
Thank you, Floor Leader. Please proceed.
Okay. All right, thank you, Mr. Speaker and my fellow colleagues. So regarding Resolution 1-35 as introduced by COR, this repeals our previous standing rules dated for November and adds new sections and restructures both our committees and our leadership positions. As you know, over the last year, we've faced issues, especially regarding attendance, accountability, and transparency. And so these new edits contained within the resolution aims to address those concerns. Okay. And I hope everyone has been able to review these edits. And at this time, I'm open to any questions or concerns from our fellow membership.
Thank you, Mr. Floor Leader. Are there any representatives wishing to speak on resolution number 1-35 COR? Hearing or seeing none, Mr. Floor Leader, you are free to close on your motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So on the matter of Resolution 1-35, I urge all of my fellow colleagues to please vote yes on this resolution so that we can move forward with the transparency, accountability, and the new leadership that we need to move on with the remainder of our term. Thank you all.
Your motion, Mr. Floor Leader.
Apologies. Okay. I move to place resolution number 1-35 COR as introduced into the third reading file for voting.
Thank you, Mr. Floor Leader. On the motion to place resolution number 1-35 COR as introduced into the third reading file for voting, are there any objections? Hearing or seeing none, the motion is carried. Colleagues, we will take a 1-minute recess.
The 35th Guam Youth Congress is called back to order. Speaker Fortuno of Derrida, you are recognized at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I move to place into the third reading file Resolution number 2-35 COR, introduced by Austin G. Fortuno, relative to expressing the strong support of Imina 35 na Congressman Hoban Guahan, the 35th Guam Youth Congress, for Bill number 1-38 COR, relative to the annual appropriation level to the Guam Cancer Trust Fund, urging Imina 38 na Leso Truong Guahan, the 38th Guam Legislature, to expeditiously pass this bill to sustain and enhance the efforts to combat cancer in our island community, with particular attention to the needs of young individuals and families affected by this disease, and recognizing the impact of cancer on the youth of Guam, and to be given the opportunity to speak on the motion.
Please proceed, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise today. Thank you. All right, loud and clear over here. Mr. Speaker, I rise today to introduce Resolution number 2-35 COR, relative to expressing the strong support of the 35th Guam Youth Congress for Bill number 1-38 COR, which seeks to increase the annual appropriation to the Guam Cancer Trust Fund. This resolution urges the 38th Guam Legislature to act swiftly in passing this important legislation. Mr. Speaker, I would like to take a moment to recognize Senator Telo Taidagui, the author of Bill number 1-38, for her leadership in addressing this issue as the very first bill introduced in the 38th Guam Legislature. In recent years, the Guam Cancer Trust Fund has faced challenges due to the dips in the Healthy Futures Fund, which have threatened the stability of its programs. Senator Taidagui's measure provides a solution by ensuring no less than 15%, or at least $4 million, of the Healthy Futures Fund revenues are dedicated to sustaining and strengthening cancer-related services. I also note, Mr. Speaker, that Bill number 1-38 has already been placed on the agenda for Legislature on Guahan's call to session on September 29, and we thank the senators for doing that. By passing this resolution today, we, the youth of Guam, are making the official call and encouragement for our senators to take action and pass this critical legislation. This is so important, Mr. Speaker, because cancer has touched every family on Guam. Too many of our island's young people have lost parents, grandparents, teachers, coaches, and friends to this disease. Others have carried the heavy responsibility, including young individuals, of caregiving while balancing their education and their daily lives. Mr. Speaker, the Guam Cancer Trust Fund has been a lifeline for these families, funding awareness, screenings, treatment, and survivor support. But to continue this work, Mr. Speaker, requires a reliable funding. This issue is also deeply personal to me, Mr. Speaker. My great-grandmother, who took care of me as a kid, Lily Peregrino, lost her life to multiple myeloma, a form of cancer. Like so many families, mine has felt the pain of losing someone we love to cancer. And the truth is, Mr. Speaker, every family on Guam, whether young or old, has been touched by this disease. By adopting this resolution, we as the youth of Guam send a strong message. We stand behind the fight against cancer, and we urge the 38th Guam Legislature to prioritize the Guam Cancer Trust Fund to protect families in their hardest battles and to ensure hope for the next generation. Mr. Speaker, I humbly ask my colleagues for their support on resolution number 2-35 COR, so that together, on behalf of the youth of Guam, we can stand united in the fight against cancer. Sus Masi, Mr. Speaker.
Are there any representatives wishing to speak on resolution 2-35 COR? Representative Poblete, you are recognized.
Mr. Speaker, can we take a 1-minute recess?
There has been a motion to take a 1-minute recess. Are there any objections? Hearing seen none, motion carries. The 35th Guam Youth Congress is back from recess. Are there any other representatives wishing to speak on Resolution 2-35 COR? Representative Poblete, you are recognized.
Half a day, Mr. Speaker. I would like to thank the author of this resolution, Speaker Fortuno, for introducing this legislation. I believe this is important. I believe that us as a youth community should fully support this introduced legislation, and this legislation will be heard on session, if I believe, this upcoming month. So I fully urge you guys to fully support this resolution, and I would like to make a motion to add my name as co-sponsor to this resolution.
There has been a motion to add Representative Poblete's name as a co-sponsor to Resolution 2-35 COR. Are there any objections? Hearing or seeing none, motion carries. Are there any other representatives wishing to speak on Resolution 2-35 COR? Representative De La Cruz, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would just like to say that, I would like to fully support this resolution, and that's because interruptions in this funding or all the services covered by this funding has disrupted the continuity of care, which is essential to treatment and recovery. In my experience as a nursing major at the University of Guam, I've worked with patients who have been diagnosed with cancer, and it truly is a challenging time for them and their families. That being said, I strongly urge everyone to support this resolution, and I hope that we can continue to promote healthcare accessibility on this island for everyone. Thank you.
Are there any other representatives wishing to speak on Resolution 2-35 COR? Representative Kalimdam, you are recognized.
Sizuos Maasi, Mr. Speaker. I rise in support of resolution number 2-35. It's very important to address cancer services on our island for the people of Guam, and I urge my fellow colleagues to support this resolution, to support our island community against this terrible disease, and join the fight against cancer. Thank you.
Are there any other representatives wishing to speak on Resolution 2-35? Representative Charfish, you are recognized.
Sizus Masi, Vice Speaker, as someone who has also been affected by the invasion of cancer within their family, I too see the importance of this bill, and I do share the same sentiments as the previous speakers who spoke on this bill. I believe that access to this type of healthcare will not only be beneficial, but is necessary for this island, especially those who are not in the financial state to get access off island and to do all these other things that are required to receive quality healthcare for cancer remission, I believe. But with that, I do stand in full support of this bill, and I would like to thank Mr. Speaker Fortuno for introducing this bill into our body. Thank you very much.
Are there any other representatives wishing to speak on Resolution 2-35 COR? Representative Pangilinan, you're recognized.
Test. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to rise in support for Fortuno's Resolution 2-38 COR and ask for the body's support of this resolution, as cancer has been a deep topic not just on this island, but worldwide, and has been a long-standing fight for many generations. Thank you again, Representative Fortuno, and I'd like to add a motion to add myself as a sponsor to this resolution.
Are there any other representatives wishing to speak on Resolution 2-35? Okay. There was a motion to add Legislative Secretary Dano Pangilinan as a co-sponsor of Resolution 2-35. Are there any objections? Hearing or seeing none, motion carries. Are there any other representatives wishing to speak on Resolution 2-35 COR? Representative Yang, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Speaker. I rise in support for Speaker Fortuno's bill because I believe that one of the aspect is increased cancer awareness, education, and early screening processes, and I believe that the youth of Guam would really benefit from that. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Yang. Are there any other representatives wishing to speak on Resolution 2-35? Floor Leader Paz, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise today in strong support of Resolution 2-35 COR, and I commend Speaker Fortuno for introducing this important measure. In my own work as a medical assistant, I have seen the faces of patients and families fighting cancer, and with young people who shouldered the burden for caring for their loved ones. So, funding or having consistent funding for the Guam Cancer Trust Fund helps support the treatment, prevention, and diagnoses of this lifelong terminal illness. I will always support funding healthcare because a healthy Guam helps protect Guam's future. You know, cancer is a horrible disease that doesn't wait, and neither should we. And I urge my colleagues to stand up in support and pass Resolution 2-35. Thank you.
Are there any other representatives wishing to speak on Resolution 2-35? Hearing or seeing. Mic test, mic test. Are there any other representatives wishing to speak on Resolution 2-35? Hearing or seeing none? Colleagues, we will now take a 1-minute recess. My apologies. Okay. The 35th Guam Youth Congress is now back from recess. Speaker Fortuno of Dedo, you are free to close.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Speaker. Mr. Vice Speaker, at this time, I would like to make a motion to add as co-sponsors the following representatives in the following order. Representative Dela Cruz, Representative Kalimlim, Representative Charfris, Representative Yang, and Floor Leader Paz. I believe they spoke in favor of the resolution, and we would like to add them as co-sponsors, as well as the rest of the Guam Youth Congress. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
There has been a motion to add every representative present today as co-sponsors of Resolution 2-35 COR. Are there any objections? Hearing or seeing none, motion carries. Mr. Speaker, you're recognized to close.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I move to waive closing and now move to place Resolution number 2-35 COR as amended on the floor into the third reading file for voting.
Mic test, mic test. Mic test, okay. There has been a motion to place Resolution 2-35 COR into the third reading file for voting. Are there any objections? Hearing or seeing none, motion carries. We will now go into a brief 1-minute recess.
35th Guam Youth Congress is called back to order. At this time, colleagues, I will now recognize Vice Speaker Atoygui on his motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I move to place into the third reading file resolution number 3-35 COR introduced by myself, Trevin Atoygui, relative to designating October 20th, 2025 as Guam Mayor's Office Recognition Day to honor the dedication and contribution of Guam's mayors, vice mayors, and municipal staff members across all 19 village municipalities of Guam, and to be given the opportunity to speak on this motion.
Please proceed, Mr. Vice Speaker.
Resolution 3-35, introduced by myself, is relative to designating October 20th, 2025 as Guam Mayor's Office Recognition Day to honor the dedication and contribution of Guam's mayors, vice mayors, and municipal staff members across all 19 village municipalities of Guam. Be it resolved by the Congressman Hoban Guahan, whereas the Congressman Hoban Guahan serves as the official voice of the Youth of Guam and Youth Advisory Body to the Ilahaturan Guahan, committed to advocating for policies and initiatives that enhance the well-being of the island's young residents and future generations. And whereas the mayor's offices of Guam serve as the foundation of local government, ensuring the needs of the people are met through leadership, service, and unwavering dedication. And whereas mayors, vice mayors, and their staff work tirelessly to maintain and improve the communities, offering essential services, advocating for local development, and fostering civic engagement. And whereas their collective efforts strengthen Guam's municipalities by addressing community concerns, promoting cultural preservations, and driving forward initiatives that benefit residents. And whereas October 20th is hereby designated as Guam Mayor's Office Recognition Day, a day dedicated to honoring and celebrating the invaluable contributions of every mayor, vice mayor, and staff member who serve Guam with integrity and commitment. And whereas recognizing these servants encourages greater appreciation for local government and inspires future generations to actively participate in community leadership. Now, therefore, it be resolved that the Mina Trentai Sinku na Congressman Hoban Guahan does hereby, on behalf of the Youth of Guam, formally acknowledges the significance of October 20th, 2025 as Guam Mayor's Office Recognition Day, encouraging all residents to show gratitude and appreciation for the hard work and dedication of their local leaders and municipal staff. And be it further resolved that the youth speaker certify and that the legislative secretary attest to the adoption hereof, and that copies of the same be thereafter transmitted to all 19 village mayors, to all 19 municipal mayors and vice mayors, the Honorable Jesse Alec, President of the Mayor's Council of Guam, the Honorable Frank F. Blosh Jr., Speaker of the Mina Trentai Ocho na Legislaturan Guahan, and the Honorable Lourdes A. Leongarao, Imagahagan Guahan.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Vice Speaker. Are there any other representatives wishing to speak on resolution number 3-35 COR as introduced? Or, yeah, 3-35. I'm going to recognize Representative Charfers of Manilao.
Sizos Masi, Mr. Speaker. Today I rise in support of this resolution, and I would like to thank Vice Speaker Atoygui for introducing it. As someone who represents their village, I have seen firsthand, and I'm pretty sure a lot of us as people of our communities have seen the hard work, relentless effort, and all the motivation and strides that our mayors, vice mayors, community efforts, and even the families of those individuals put into creating a welcoming and safe environment into our island community. With that, I would also like to recognize all the mayors for their hard work, for the Liberation Day planning, for all the other planning that we need as community members. Our mayors are our advocates. They are people in our community who we look up to. They are people in our community who, when we need something, they jump for us. So today I rise in support, and I thank Vice Speaker Atoygui, and I would like to make a motion to be a co-sponsor of this resolution. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative Charfers of Manilao. For a minute, I think I was seeing Senator Barnett, but great job. On the motion by Representative Charfers Fortress Manilao to be added as a co-sponsor to the resolution. Are there any objections? Hearing or seeing none, the motion is carried. Are there any other representatives wishing to speak? Representative O of Malesu, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to rise in support for Resolution 3-35 COR. I believe it's important to recognize the people who make our communities better and help us gain our voice on the island. I'd like to urge my fellow colleagues to support this resolution, and I'd like to add a motion to add myself as a sponsor to this resolution.
Thank you, Representative O of Malesu. There has been a motion to add Representative O as a co-sponsor to the resolution. Are there any objections? Hearing or seeing none, the motion is carried. Are there any other representatives wishing to speak on the motion? Representative Guerrero of Dedido, you are recognized at this time.
Sizus Masi, Mr. Speaker, and I thank the good author for this resolution. You know, I do believe in the hard work of our mayors and vice mayors and their staff and ensuring that the day-to-day operations of their villages are accordingly, and also making sure that they are represented in the island-wide festivities that we have and just all of the work that they do. I did just want to raise a point of information for the author. If he'd yield to it, I'd just like to inquire about the date selection of October 20th and why this particular date was chosen. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Guerrero. Vice Speaker Igui, do you yield to the question, to the point of information?
I yield to the point of information. Thank you, Representative Guerrero, for this point of inquiry. When I was drafting out this resolution, I was trying to think of dates on whether to put it in the middle of the year or in the ending of the year. But the reasoning I chose October 20th is because starting from October, that's when a lot of our holidays start to happen. We have Halloween, we have Thanksgiving, we have Christmas, and that's when our village municipalities are busy at most because they're either trying to go out and spread some Christmas cheer to the kids on a Christmas parade, Christmas flow, I'm sorry. That's what the village of Tamuning Tuman Harmon did during the pandemic, and that was very touching to me to see that they are doing this. On the other hand, I'm trying to control during the pandemic the COVID-19 virus within their village municipality. But that's the reasoning why I chose October 20th is because it's closest to when our mayor's offices are busiest at most. So if that answered your point of inquiry, Sizus Mas.
Sizus Masi, to the good author, and yes, I do believe that that's a splendid explanation, and it's definitely the time of year when they're the most busiest, so we're kicking it off with recognizing them for all the hard work that they've been putting in and that they'll continue to put in. That's it for my floor remarks, Mr. Speaker. I do rise in support of this resolution as well, and I thank the good author for proffering it. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Guerrero of Dedido. Are there any other representatives wishing to speak on the resolution? Representative Kalimlim of you are recognized at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise in support of resolution number 3-35 COR and thank my colleague, Mr. Vice Speaker Toigui, for authoring this resolution. Our island community and our respective villages and schools we represent are highly supported by our village mayors and their offices. Their contributions to our island, especially immediately after Typhoon Maurar and many other community projects and operations, deserve the recognition and gratitude of our community. In addition, Mr. Speaker, I motion to add my name in the list of co-sponsors for this resolution.
Thank you, Representative Kalimlim of Ukuru. Representative Kalimlim has made a motion to add himself as a co-sponsor to the resolution. Are there any objections? Hearing or seeing none, the motion is carried. Are there any other representatives wishing to speak on the resolution as amended on the floor? Representative Fernandez of Notre Dame High School, you are recognized at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to endorse this resolution 3-35 COR and ask for the body's support because it recognizes the hard-working and dedicated individuals in our mayor's offices who make our communities better and ensure that every village has a voice on our island. I personally experienced this commitment when, through the leadership of the Mayor's Councils of Guam, Mayor Jesse Allig and Mayor Kevin Siswico, I had the opportunity to travel to Rhoda with their exchange program. That trip gave students like me the chance to connect with our neighbors, learn from their culture, and strengthen the unity of our islands. I'd like to urge my fellow colleagues to support this resolution and move to add myself as a co-sponsor.
Thank you, Representative Fernandez of Notre Dame High School. On the motion to add Representative Fernandez as a co-sponsor to the resolution, are there any objections? Hearing or seeing none, the motion is carried. Are there any other representatives wishing to speak on the resolution, resolution number 3-35 COR as introduced or as amended on the floor? Hearing or seeing none, Vice Speaker Toigui, you're welcome to close.
Sizus Masi, Mr. Speaker. I would like to just thank my fellow colleagues who stood up and spoke upon this on Resolution 3-35. And I urge every one of my colleagues to join in and vote yes for this resolution to pass, and join me in recognizing our leaders of our municipal villages. Without our mayors, vice mayors, and their staff, our villages would not be running smooth as it is today. During typhoons, our mayor's offices are the ones that are out there first. The residents are the ones who call them to help them get out of their homes if there was a tree that fell down. Or if there is trash along the road in that municipality, they call the mayor's office to go and possibly pick it up. As an intern during the Governor's Summer Youth Employment Program, I have seen everything that happened within the Tumuning Mayor's office, and I know it goes a long way for every municipality, where there is a lot of concerns that just go into the mayor's offices, and there is a lot that should be going to other government agencies like DPW and other sorts of government agencies. But the residents are the ones that are calling first the mayor's offices because they are the ones who represent and lead that village to its successes. So with that being said, Mr. Speaker, I move to place resolution number 3-35 COR as introduced in the third reading file for voting. Sizus Masi.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Speaker. On that motion to place resolution number 3-35 COR as amended on the floor into the third reading file for voting, are there any objections? Hearing or seeing none, the motion is carried. Colleagues, we have exhausted all business under agenda item number 15, the second reading file. We are now on agenda item number 16, the second roll call. Floor leader Paz, you are recognized. On the second.
Thank you, Speaker Fortuno. At this time, I make a motion to have the second roll call reflect first roll call.
Thank you, Mr. Floor Leader. On that motion, are there any objections? Hearing or seeing none, the motion is carried. Colleagues, we are in recess. Sound test. Imina 35 na Kongreso Manhoben Guahan, the 35th Guam Youth Congress is called back to order. Colleagues, we are now in item number 17, the consideration of the daily file. We will now proceed with the third reading file. Recording Secretary Laksamana, please read the title for resolution number 1-35 COR as introduced.
Resolution number 1-35, as introduced by the Committee on Rules, is relative to repealing in its entirety the Standing of Rules of I-35 na Kongreso Manhoban Guahan as adopted on November 23, 2024, and to adopt and promulgate the amended Standing Rules of I-35 na Kongreso Manhoban Guahan, attached hereto as Exhibit A as the official standing rules governing the body.
Thank you, Recording Secretary Laksamana. Roll call, please.
Vice Speaker Otogi of Tumuning Tuman Harmon. Vice Speaker Otogi of Tumuning Tuman Harmon, aye. Representative Babastro of Paget. Representative Babastro, aye. Representative Kalimlim of Okudu High School. Representative Kalimlim, aye. Representative Cha of Mongmong Toto Mighty, excused. Representative Sharfres of Mangilao. Representative Sharfres of Mangilao, aye. Representative Cruz of Simon Sanchez High School. Representative Cruz of Simon Sanchez High School, aye. Representative Dela Cruz of the University of Guam. Representative Dela Cruz of the University of Guam, aye. Representative Fernandez of Notre Dame High School. Representative Fernandez of Notre Dame High School, aye. Speaker Fortuno of Dededo. Speaker Fortuno of Dededo, aye. Representative Guerrero of Dededo. Representative Guerrero of Dededo, aye. Representative Imbat of Okudu High School. Representative Imbat of Okudu High School, aye. Representative Kim of Harvest Christian Academy. Representative Kim of Harvest Christian Academy, excused. Representative Cody Yamplakal of Tamuning Tuman Harmon, excused. Representative Leon Guerrero of Academy of Our Lady of Guam. Representative Leon Guerrero of our Academy of Our Lady of Guam, aye. Representative Liu of Dededo, excused. Representative Masca of Tizan High School. Representative Masca of Tizan High School, aye. Representative Ng of Donya, excused. Representative O of Maleso, excused. Legislative Secretary Pangilinan of Mangilao. Oh. Apologies. Representative O of Maleso. Representative O of Malesu, aye. Legislative Secretary Pangilinan of Mangilao. Apologies. Legislative Secretary Pangilinan of Mangilao, aye. Representative Paz of Jigo. Representative Paz of Jigo, aye. Representative Pobletti of Chalanpago Ordot.
Representative Yang of Manila, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I make a motion to excuse Representative Poboletti from voting.
Thank you, Representative Yang. On the motion to excuse Representative Pobletti from voting, are there any objections? Hearing or seeing none, the motion is carried.
Representative Pobletti of Chalanpago Ordot, excused. Representative Santos of Tumuning Tuman Harmon, excused. Representative Santos of the University of Guam. Representative Santos of the University of Guam, aye. Representative Teodosio of the University of Guam. Representative Teodosio of the University of Guam, aye. Representative Velasco of the Guam Community College. Representative Velasco of the Guam Community College, aye. Representative Yang of Mangilao. Representative Yang of Mangilao, aye.
Thank you, Madam Recording Secretary. Resolution number 1-35 COR, as introduced, received 19 ayes, 0 nays, and 7 excused. Resolution number 1-35 COR, as introduced, is duly passed by this body. Madam Clerk, or Madam Secretary, please read the title for resolution number 2-35 COR.
Resolution number 2-35 COR, as introduced by Austin G. Fortuno and further amended on the floor, is relative to expressing the strong support of Imuna 35 na Congresion Manhoban Guahan for Bill number 1-38 COR, relative to the annual appropriation level to the Guam Cancer Trust Fund, urging Imuna 38 na Legislaturan Guahan to expeditiously pass this bill to sustain and enhance the efforts to combat cancer in our island community, with particular attention to the needs of young individuals and families affected by the disease, and recognizing the impact of cancer on the youth of Guam.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Roll call, please.
Vice Speaker Atogwi of Tamuning Tumon Harmon. Vice Speaker Atogwi of Tamuning Tumon Harmon, aye. Representative Balbastra of Hoggett. Representative Balbastra of Hoggett, aye. Representative Kalimlim of Okuru High School. Representative Kalimlim of Okuru High School, aye. Representative Cha of Mongmong Toto Mighty, excused. Representative Sharfers of Mangilao. Representative Sharfers of Mangilao, aye. Representative Cruz of Simon Sanchez High School. Representative Cruz of Simon Sanchez High School, aye. Representative Dela Cruz of the University of Guam. Representative Dela Cruz of the University of Guam, aye. Representative Fernandez of Notre Dame High School. Representative Fernandez of Notre Dame High School, aye. Speaker Fortuno of Guam. Speaker Fortuno of Dededo, aye. Representative Guerrero of Dededo. Representative Guerrero of Dededo, aye. Representative Imbat of Okuru High School. Representative Imbat of Okuru High School, aye. Representative Kim of Harvest Christian Academy, excused. Representative Cody Yamplakal of Tamuning Tumon Harmon. Oh, apologies for the oversight. Representative Kim of Harvest Christian Academy. Oh. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Representative Kim of Harvest Christian Academy, excused. Representative Cody Yamplakal of Tamuning Tumon Harmon, excused. Representative Leon Guerrero of Academy of Our Lady of Guam. Representative Leon Guerrero of Academy of Our Lady of Guam, aye. Representative Liu of Dededo, excused. Representative Masca of Tizan High School. Representative Masca of Tizan High School, aye. Representative Ng of Doña, excused. Representative O of Malesu. Representative O of Malesu, aye. Legislative Secretary Pangilinan of Mangilao. Legislative Secretary Pangilinan of Mangilao, aye. Representative Paz of Jigo. Representative Paz of Jigo, aye. Representative Pobletti of Chalanpago Ardot, excused. Representative Santos of Tamuning Tumon Harmon, excused. Representative Santos of the University of Guam. Representative Santos of the University of Guam, aye. Representative Teodosio of the University of Guam. Representative Teodosio of the University of Guam, aye. Representative Velasco of the Guam Community College. Representative Velasco of the Guam Community College, aye. Representative Yang of Mangilao. Representative Yang of Mangilao, aye.
Thank you, Madam Recording Secretary. Resolution number 2-35 COR, as amended on the floor, received 19 ayes, 0 nays, and 7 excused. Resolution number 2-35 COR, as amended on the floor, is duly passed by this body. Madam Recording Secretary, please read the title for resolution number 3-35 COR.
Resolution number 3-35 COR, as introduced by Trevin Atoygui and further amended on the floor, is relative to designating October 20, 2025 as Guam Mayor's Office Recognition Day to honor the dedication and contribution of Guam's mayors, vice mayors, and municipal staff members across all 19 village municipalities of Guam.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Roll call, please.
Vice Speaker Atoygui of Tamuning Tumon Harmon. Vice Speaker Atoygui of Tamuning Tumon Harmon, aye. Representative Babastra of Haggett. Representative Babastra of Haggett, aye. Representative Kalimlim of Okudu High School. Representative Kalimlim of Okudu High School, aye. Representative Cha of Mongmong Toto Mighty, excused. Representative Sharfus of Mangilao. Representative Sharfus of Mangilao, aye. Representative Cruz of Simon Sanchez High School. Representative Cruz of Simon Sanchez High School, aye. Representative Dela Cruz of the University of Guam. Representative Dela Cruz of the University of Guam, aye. Representative Fernandez of Notre Dame High School. Representative Fernandez of Notre Dame High School, aye. Speaker Fortuno of Dededo. Speaker Fortuno of Dededo, aye. Representative Guerrero of Dededo. Representative Guerrero of Dededo, aye. Representative Imbat of Okudu High School. Representative Imbat of Okudu High School, aye. Representative Kim of Harvest Christian Academy, excused. Representative Cody Yamplaco of Tamuning Tumon Harmon, excused. Representative Leon Guerrero of Academy of Our Lady of Guam. Representative Leon Guerrero of Academy of Our Lady of Guam, aye. Representative Liu of Dededo, excused. Representative Masca of Tizan High School. Representative Tizan Masca of High School, aye. Representative Ng of Zonya, excused. Representative O of Maleso. Representative O of Maleso, aye. Legislative Secretary Pangilinan of Mangilao. Legislative Secretary Pangilinan of Mangilao, aye. Representative Paz of Jigo. Representative Paz of Jigo, aye. Representative Poblete of Chalanpago Ordot, excused. Representative Santos of Tamuning Tumon Harmon, excused. Representative Santos of the University of Guam. Representative Santos of the University of Guam, aye. Representative Teodosio of the University of Guam. Representative Teodosio of the University of Guam, aye. Representative Velasco of the Guam Community College. Representative Velasco of the Guam Community College, aye. Representative Yang of Mangilao. Representative Yang of Mangilao, aye.
Thank you, Madam Recording Secretary. Resolution number 3-35 COR, as amended on the floor, received 19 ayes, 0 nays, and 7 excused. Resolution number 3-35 COR, as amended on the floor, is duly passed by the body. Colleagues, there are no other business in the third reading file and no business in the voting file. Floor Leader Paz, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Notwithstanding House rules, I move that we go back onto agenda item number 13 for consideration of motions.
Thank you, Mr. Floor Leader. On that motion, are there any objections? Hearing or seeing none, the motion is carried. We are now back for the consideration of motions. Floor Leader Paz, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. At this time, there are permanent vacancies for the positions of Chairperson of the Committee of Health and Human Services and Gender Affairs, Chairperson of the Committee of Judiciary and Justice, and Chairperson on the Committee of Law Enforcement, Emergency Management, Municipalities, and Federal, Military, and Regional Affairs. At this time, I move that we open the floor for nominations of the aforementioned positions.
On that motion, are there any objections? Hearing or seeing none, the motion is carried. The floor is now open for nominations. Floor Leader Paz, you're recognized.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I nominate Representative Grace Ann de la Cruz for the position of Chairperson of the Committee on Health and Human Services and Gender Affairs, Representative Nicole Therese Guerrero for the position of Chairperson of the Committee on Judiciary and Justice, and Speaker Austin Geismer Fortuno for the position of Chairperson on the Committee on Law Enforcement, Emergency Management, Municipalities, and Federal, Military, and Regional Affairs.
Thank you, Mr. Floor Leader. Let the record show that Floor Leader Paz has nominated Representative Grace Ann Dela Cruz for the position of Chairperson of the Committee on Health and Human Services and Gender Affairs, Representative Nicole Therese Guerrero for the position of Chairperson of the Committee on Judiciary and Justice, and Speaker Austin Geismar Fortuno for the position of Chairperson of the Committee on Law Enforcement, Emergency Management, Municipalities, and Federal, Military, and Regional Affairs. Are there any other nominations for the aforementioned positions? Hearing or seeing none, Vice Speaker Atoygui, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I move to close the nomination for the aforementioned positions.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Speaker. On that motion, are there any objections? Hearing or seeing none, the motion is carried. We will now consider the election of the positions of Chairperson of the Committee on Health and Human Services and Gender Affairs, Chairperson of the Committee on Judiciary and Justice, and Chairperson of the Committee on Law Enforcement, Emergency Management, Municipalities, and Federal, Military, and Regional Affairs. All those in favor of electing Representative Grace Ann Dela Cruz for the position of Chairperson of the Committee on Health and Human Services and Gender Affairs, Representative Nicole Therese Guerrero for the position of Chairperson of the Committee on Judiciary and Justice, and Speaker Austin Geismar Fortuno for the position of Chairperson of the Committee on Law Enforcement, Emergency Management, Municipalities, and Federal, Military, and Regional Affairs. Please signify your vote by raising your hand. With a unanimous vote, the aforementioned persons are duly elected to their respective chairpersonships. Congratulations, everybody. Are there any other representatives wishing to make a motion? Hearing or seeing none, we are now on agenda item number 18 for brief extension of remarks. Are there any representatives who wish to be recognized for brief extension of remarks? Representative Atoygui, or Vice Speaker Atoygui of Tamuning Tumon Harmon, you're recognized.
Jesus Masi, Speaker Fortuno. I would like to just recognize those individuals of the fellow high schools who participated in the International Coastal Cleanup. I would like to recognize you and commend all of you for your contributions in helping out and keeping our community clean and making the image of our community and island look very presentable, especially to our tourists. I would like to also shout out the John F. Kennedy High School JROTC cadets who are participating in this coastal cleanup. And I would like to acknowledge, the other JFK students who are also participating in this coastal cleanup. Jesus Masi.
Thank you, Vice Speaker Atoygui. Are there any other representatives for a brief extension of remarks? Representative Leon Guerrero of Academy of Our Lady of Guam. You're recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I would also like to recognize the people who volunteered at the 2025 Guam Coastal Cleanup and the administration who coordinated the cleanup. As someone who has volunteered at the island-wide cleanup for multiple years, I can attest the sweat and hard work that volunteers undergo during those hours and the commitment to ensure the cleanup was well accomplished. I would also like to shout out the Academy of Our Lady of Guam students and the Green Club who showed up this morning and thank them for their efforts as well. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative Leon Guerrero. Are there any other representatives? Representative Kalimlim of Ukuru High School, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to extend my thanks and commend all the youth of Guam who came out today, September 20, 2025, for today's International Coastal Cleanup. Representative Imbat and I were also there at the Coastal Cleanup prior to session, including our constituents of Okudu High School's Lend Earth a Friend Club, or Leaf Club's effort at Adelup, as well as our Marine Corps JROTC at Tumon today. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Kalimlim of Ukuru High School. Are there any other representatives? Representative Guerrero of Dededo, you're recognized.
Sizus Masi, Mr. Speaker. I just like to thank my colleagues for their support in electing me as the new chairperson for the Committee on Judiciary and Justice. I look forward to all of the good work that's going to come out of that particular committee as well as this body as a whole. And I'd just like to thank CORE as well for their dedicated hard work in ensuring accountability with the passage of Resolution 1-35 and amending our standing rules and ensuring that this body stays committed to the people that we were elected to serve moving forward. And once again, I look forward to the great work that's going to come out of this body in the next few months. Situ is Masi, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative Guerrero. Took the words out of my tongue. Any other representatives who wishes to speak? Representative, you know what? I'm going to recognize Representative Balbastro of Hagat first. Thank you.
Hafa Day, members of the 35th Guam Youth Congress, and to our fellow audience watching live. For those that don't know me, I am Representative Charlie Babastro, and as I'm always proud to say, a former JROTC cadet. I stand here today to recognize the passing of our beloved patriot of the United States of America, Charlie Kirk. I just want to extend my love and condolences to what he has done to the community for his inspiring and heartfelt words of wisdom. He has been an inspiration to all the future generations in the world today and a wonderful servant to the community. He has shown great examples of becoming a leader, having a better character, showing honor, dignity, spirit, compassion, and faith to the people that heard of him and watched his inspirational speeches. Charlie is a wonderful father and servant with 2 kids, married with his wife, Erica Kirk, based in Utah, and was a founder of the Turning Point USA organization. Charlie was an awesome young man that really inspired amongst millions in the nation, to which it taught many people to become better servants, to learn the right principles, and leading with confidence. His leadership and heartfelt words will be remembered in our hearts and thoughts for eternity. His wonderful messages had inspired many lives, and the unforgettable moments we will remember since the start of Charlie's passing. As I speak on Charlie Kirk's passing, we extend our thoughts, sincere prayers, and love for his divine words of wisdom, legacy, and service to the Kirk family, and that he will be remembered forever. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative Balbastro. Are there any other representatives wishing to speak for a brief extension of remarks? Representative De La Cruz of the University of Guam, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Similar to Representative Guerrero, I would like to express my gratitude to everyone who supported and elected me as the new chairperson on the Committee of Health, Human Services, and Gender Affairs. With my experience and background in healthcare, I hope to inform and guide the trajectory of this committee and to really help to promote overall health and wellness on the island of Guam. So thank you all, and I look forward to working with you and, of course, the members of the Committee on Health.
Thank you, Representative De La Cruz. Are there any other representatives wishing to speak for a brief extension of remarks? Hearing or seeing none, we are now on agenda item number 19, announcements. Are there any representatives wishing to share an announcement? Any school events, fundraisers, anything? Any important dates? When is graduation? Nobody? Okay. You can gather the facts for the next session. All right. Floor Leader Paz, you're recognized at this critical time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. At this time, I move to adjourn this first regular session of the 35th Guam Youth Congress, subject to call of the Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Floor Leader. There has been a motion by Floor Leader Paz to adjourn this first regular session of the 35th Guam Youth Congress, subject to the call of the Speaker. Are there any objections to the motion? Hearing or seeing none, it is my honor. The motion is carried. This session of the 35th Guam Youth Congress is hereby adjourned subject to the call of the Speaker. Sidus Masi, and thank you to the youth of Guam.